What is up guys, Kane here. This time we're going to talk about Nightmare. So we all know it has been turned into a tank version and all that stuff has already passed. I do believe his awakening is from the Chinese version and kept as it is. Comparing to most other tanks being awakened, they become quite overpowered strong. Nightmare keeps his offensive type awakening from the Chinese server, which makes this unit in general something like a mash together of a offensive and defensive, and it's not being that good in either of these situations. As good as these buffs can be, they are harder to stack than Chinese server as well. The thing about it is, if it lands a critical, you get 1% attack speed on all of your Infernos. Offensive Nightmare had quite a bit of a critical rate, defensive Nightmare does not. Even with the museum, it kind of lost a lot of the critical value. And if you mention that Devil adds 1000 critical value, well, comparing to Chinese, every attack of Inferno units was a critical after Devil's trigger. So basically Nightmare's field buff was nerfed because it was made as a defensive unit, and further nerfed since Devil Trigger is nerfed. I understand the damage reduction percent can stack properly since it only is affected by a normal attack, which a 4x unit can easily perform, but as a tank required to land critical hits with almost no critical value against frontline tanks which have base 300 to 450 tenacity, further buffed by successor emblems that give about 1200 more early. I mean, this unit kind of has become a joke. This is, however, the middle awakening skill. The other two are pretty good. I would honestly want them to change this because it really is stupid to have a tank required to perform critical hits. Doubt it even reaches 10% attack speed ever, and 20% is the max. The first Nightmare Awakening skill is a choice between stunning the backline in a 1 square range around the target or stunning the front line for a bit longer with the same 1 square range around the target. I thought previously that it would only put to sleep the single target on the right side of the awakening, but apparently it is also area based. So it depends who you are facing, which one of those you should choose. For example, if you're facing a Tazar with many frontline units, you will want to go right side, or if you're facing a Gem or Astral whose DPS is in the back line, you will want to go left. It is strictly based on your enemies. And the last awakening skill is a no-brainer. It must be on the left side. It reduces 2 seconds from the ultimate skill every time a unit dies in the battle. I am unsure whether it is allied unit or enemy unit or both. It is not specified really, so probably any. Since I do not have this at 5-star awaken, I cannot test myself, but this kind of vastly surpasses the other one, which provides just some healing, since if you may be able to cast your ultimate earlier, and for me in some cases it was just a split second and I would have cleared their entire field, and it happened many times, it can turn out to be an easy win. It really depends. Many things can go into that, like mana regeneration, mana usage, and so on. Because if you made many mistakes, like on the bookshelf, you upgraded the arrow mastery, which reduces the arrow cooldown, that will be soaking a bit more mana than it's intended. And mistakes like these may not end up being too good. It's quite a lot of testing to see whether or not it may perform better or may break Seron and sometimes make it worse. I mean, the numbers do in fact look good, the time removal from the ultimate is also great, but sometimes casting too early is bad, sometimes reducing the time of the ultimate can mess up the auto casting AI and so on. So without proper testing, it is hard to say whether it can be a flop or a win. I believe I have seen quite a few testing and they did not have bad comments around it, so I would assume it was pretty good. But I personally cannot provide my own opinion until I am able to use it myself. And with the next altar being just a couple of weeks from now, I will need about 20,000 diamonds just to get the next commander 6 stars. So making Nightmare 5-star Awaken or a 6th star on a commander unit, I would choose the commander though. Even though Inferno is my main, but that again is my own planning and what I pretty much try to view in the future. I will for sure get Nightmare 5-star Awaken, probably a couple of weeks after the Commander altar. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Honestly, I kind of thought they would change Nightmare's Awakening as they did for the unit itself, at least the middle skill. It sorta became quite useless right now, so like the only reason Nightmare's Awakening is that good is because it provides area stun and also a percent chance to reduce the ultimate of Xeron by 2 seconds for every dead unit. The middle Awaken buff is pretty bad. Thanks for watching guys and take care.